Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Kovak here, and for this one I will be discussing as well as going over all of the top 15 pets that I think are the best for PvP pet battles inside of BFA. Before we begin, just keep in mind that this is all opinionated. Some pets do the exact same thing as other pets or may have the same exact abilities, which is why they're not on the list, but I will discuss them as we go along. There will be a bit of a tier 0 thing at the end because obviously tier 0 is a lot better than tier 1. Obviously there is a particular pet that you may not see here, but will be mentioned towards the end, so don't worry. So before we hop into it, just like to explain the little tier system. It is a little thing that Hiru took from Yu-Gi-Oh! Brought into pet battles. Basically how it works is tier 3 are not very good pets, tier 2 are alright but could be better, and then tier 1, which is what we have here, are pets that can do well as on their own, as well as maybe 1v2 particular teams or pets. And then tier 0 is just absolutely broken pets. So yeah, keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. So kicking this list off strong, we have the Shimmering Aquafly. We will be kind of working our way down. So up here are like the more, I guess I would say they're weaker, but they're definitely tier 1. So yeah, just keep that in mind. We'll start up here and go down here. So Shimmering Aquafly, what's so good about it? Well, first of all, it is wild caught out in Valshara, so very easy to get. Best breed you're gonna want is Power Speed, as it has the best attack power and speed to make it efficient. Moveset you definitely want to roll with is Alpha Strike, Healing Stream, and Dodge. Now, what makes it so damn good is that basically Healing Stream, that's a heal on the flying type, basically making it 100 times better than most other flying types because of a heal. Being able to get your ratio back as soon as you can once you fall below it. Not only that, but it also has Dodge, which is also great on a flying type. Both for those put together, as well as the heal. If you have like an aquatic type, let's say Emperor Crab on your team, it'll heal quite a bit to not only the Aquafly, but also half of that to that aquatic type. So it goes quite well with other aquatic types that are on the team with it. Overall, pretty great pet. Just because it's the first on the list doesn't mean it's not as good as all the others. It's just a good one to start out with. So I definitely recommend going out to get this pet whenever you can. It's basically like old school Terraclaw back when they were OP, and it is a hell of a lot better than Terraclaw nowadays. So yeah, definitely recommend getting this pet if you haven't already. Next up we have Blight Breath. Now, first things first, Blight Breath's an undead, so it already has that great ratio right there. Secondly, it is very damn easy to get and very dirt cheap on the auction house if you cannot get it dropped from Professor Petricide in Ice Crown Citadel. Best breed by far is the health power, as it has the most health and attack power for it, which is what you want on an undead. What's so really damn good about it is Acid Rain and Dreadful Breath. Dreadful Breath really hasn't changed. Way back in towards the end of WoD, beginning of Legion, when they changed a bunch of AoE abilities, Dreadful Breath was one of the few that was not touched, and so still does quite a bit of AoE damage, and evenly split at that. If there's one pet out, does 301, well, obviously more with Acid Rain. But split, they'll just do about a little over 100 each of them. And it has Acid Rain to boost up the damage of Dreadful Breath, which is a great AoE on its own. And then really, the middle slot is what you have to decide, whether Sleeping Gas, which just has a 25% chance to put them to sleep, as well as ramps up the damage over time, each time you use it. And then Toxic Smoke, but the thing with Toxic Smoke is you only get the dot for one turn, because of Acid Rain being up. Overall, really great pet. Definitely recommend getting this pet. It is just too good. Now, next up we have the Restored Revenant / the Frostwolf Ghostpup. Now, I'll go ahead and bring both of them up. Well, I guess can't do that. So we'll type in Ghostly Bite because they both have it. Here's a Frostwolf Ghostpup. Now I put them both here because they are essentially the same thing. Okay, so they have the same breed, power, baseline at that. They both have a pretty great basic attack to spam, scratch, and then Restore Revenant has bite. Let's see, Haunting Song is the way you're going to want to go with Frostwolf Ghostpup, and then Ghostly Bite. Same with the Restored Revenant, you're going to want to go with Ghostly Bite as well, but in the middle slot, probably going to want to go with Bone Barrage as it is a awesome undead ability, decoy breaker, and just overall does a crap ton of damage. Now a case can be made to which is better. I'll let you guys decide. I just decided to put Restore Revenant here. Not saying that it's better than the Frostwolf Ghostpup, but I will say that they're essentially the same thing. Frostwolf Ghostpup is from Archaeology, and then the Restored Revenant is also from Archaeology, coincidentally enough. So yeah, definitely recommend picking them up if you are interested. Next up we have the Sneaky Marmot. Now Sneaky Marmot, you don't see a whole lot of it in PvP, but is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Now why? It's SS breed, which is the breed you're going to want to get. It's 341, making you able to take big advantage of Blinding Powder as well as Burrow. Now, Blinding Powder is a lot different from Blinding Poison because it has one less cooldown, only 3, which is pretty damn good. Because by the time you use Blinding Powder, use Blinding Powder, going for a basic attack, then Burrow, there should only be like one round where you won't have Blinding Powder, essentially making you not hittable for like, what, 2 to 3 turns or something, and you only take like a hit once, and then you rinse and repeat basically. It's kind of like a rabbit, except frickin' you got Blinding Powder instead of a dodge. Now, how do you get Sneaky Marmot? You do have to pickpocket mobs in Legion. I don't know the exact ones. Maybe it's just anyone. But there are certain grind spots from what I've heard. Or essentially you can just get off the auction house, which is what I did. So you don't have to stress yourself doing that as a rogue. Overall, pretty great pet. Unfortunately, don't see it a whole lot. But yeah, as I said, definitely the build you're going to want is Blinding Powder and Burrow. Chomp and Jab are situational. You basically decide, do you want to do more damage to Dragonkin but less to Beast, or more to Undead and less to Humanoids. Really, it's up to you. Either way, it's pretty efficient. Next up, we have the Alpine Fox Sling. No surprise that it is on the list. It's just been a very great pet ever since, let's see, actually way back in Mist when it was released. What's so good about it? Well, first of all, SS breed is definitely the way you're going to want to go. Power balance, get that garbage out of here, that's not going to cut it. It's got Flurry, which is the best multi-hit ability in the game, as it is coded differently. Can take down decoys, bubbles, and if you were to miss the first attack under, I don't know, a bull-shiting 10% reduction under darkness, you have a chance to hit even though the first one missed. Whereas something like Flank, if you miss, you just flat out miss. But with Flurry, if you miss the first attack, you are pretty much guaranteed to hit the second one, I think. I'm not sure if you can hit the third one if you miss. But I do know the second one, at least. So not only that, but it has Crouch. On a fast pet, you will be able to take advantage of Crouch more often, because if you go first, technically getting 4 turns out of it, whereas if you're slower, you're only getting 3. But if you're not fast enough, don't worry about that. You got Dazzling Dance. And on an SS breed like him, he can outspeed some flying types. A good example of this was Terraclaw Hatchling, because back then, baseline speed for Terraclaw Hatchling below its ratio is 260, which Alpine Fox Sling was barely able to outspeed while Terraclaw had its racial, which is one of the main reasons why it's still a damn good pet. So yeah, it is caught out in Kunlai Summit, which is making it very easy to get. highly recommend getting this pet. I just absolutely love it. It's too damn good to pass up. So yeah, Alpine Fox Sling. Next up we have Stunted Direhorn. Basically all the Direhorns, but Stunted Direhorn is inevitably the best out of all of them, as it has the most attack power and decent health. Speed absolutely does not matter, simply because of Primal Cry, such a great AoE ability on a short 3-round cooldown, dealing decent damage, even more damage if you have your Beast Racial, and giving all your opponent's pets a 25% slow for 4 rounds. Man, I was like about to hiccup or something. So pair that up with Horn Attack, you should be faster 9 times out of 10. It has a 50% chance to stun your opponent if you go first, which is pretty damn good, as it already hits pretty hard, especially with the Beast Racial, like I said. So basically you'll just interweave between that and Tri-Horn Charge. Tri-Horn Charge hits crazy hard, even harder than Horn Attack, but has an 85% chance to hit, which may theoretically seem like a lot, but really, it's not. Trust me, it's not. You may miss a couple of them. But yeah, that's just pet battles for you. How you get Stunted Direhorn is from an achievement called Brutal Pet Battler. I mean Brawler, not Battler. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you have to get 250 PvP pet battle wins. So yeah, not very hard for me, as I am a veteran myself, because I got this way back in the day. But for a newer pet battler, this may take you some time to get, but don't worry, as you can just use one of the other Direhorns until you get it, because they are just as efficient. Overall, pretty damn good pet. Hasn't really changed over all the years, and it's still good. Alright, now we are starting to progress slowly into more of the big boys. Next up we have the Orphan Felbat. Orphan Felbat, just a really, even though it's baseline SS breed, kind of a tanky, healy pet. You basically go for Fell Immolate, Black Claw, and when you get low enough health, you can pop a Drain Blood. I have seen some people, like Andre, run Paralyzing Venom, and that is totally viable. But Drain Blood is definitely going to be your bread and butter here. Fell Immolate plus Black Claw is just a crap ton of damage, and if your opponent is foolish enough to swap out, you could just apply more Fell Immolate and Black Claws to their other pets, and they'll just be taking damage as they're on the back line. Where do you get it? It is from a world, well, it says world event in the Legion Fall chest. Basically a chance to drop, or you can get it off the auction house. Nowadays, I don't think it's as expensive as it is back then. So yeah, definitely highly recommend getting this pet. Still good over all the years that it's been out. Highly recommend getting it. Next up we have Blossoming Ancient. Really no need to go into explanation of why this pet is so good, but I still will anyway. Keep in mind that this spot is also for not only Blossoming Ancient, but all the other Sunlight users, such as, hold on, let me do this. We also have Brute, which is also technically in this spot, Foxling, as well as, where is he at? Singing Sunflower. And really the only reason why is because of its whole Sunlight and Photosynthesis combo. As well as most Blossoming Ancients will take Iron Bark, as it usually is better than Poison Branch, simply because of that little mini shield that he gives you, which is pretty damn good at reducing damage you take as you heal up for a crap ton with Photosynthesis. Under Sunlight, Photosynthesis healing is twice as effective, on top of that 25% extra healing that Sunlight provides, which is why this is such a cancerous pet, as you will hear a lot from other pet battlers. Not a fun pet to go against, unless if you're of course running a goofy build like this that I like to run, because I don't like being that scumbag who runs frickin' Sunlight and Photosynthesis. Like, come on, nobody likes going against that. But yeah, the general build you will run if you want to be a dick is Iron Bark, Photosynthesis, and Sunlight. or you can be a fun dude and run this build. How do you get it? It is from the in-game shop at $10 right now, but if you wait for Christmas time, it is $5 if you want to wait like that. All the other ones, here I'll go ahead I guess and just tell you how to get them as well. Fruit is pretty much a chance to drop out of the Druid Order Hall. There are like these 2 plants that you plant, and every 3 days you go and loot them, and they have a chance to drop root. And you also have a chance to get this this other pet that's there. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's like a little lasher. Foxling, he's just a drop. He is pretty inexpensive off the auction house. And then Singing Sunflower, you simply have to complete this little small quest chain at Hillsbrad Foothills. Essentially, if you've ever played Plants vs. Zombies, it's kind of like that, except it actually is undead from World of Warcraft, and then plants from also World of Warcraft. So yeah, you just have to complete that, and you get a Singing Sunflower. Overall, cancerous pet. Yeah, if you want to be that type of person, go right for it then, I guess. But a lot of people will hate you for it. Next up, we have Wormy Tunkins / the Alliance and Horde Enthusiast, as they do the exact same thing, except they have different breeds. The Alliance and Horde Enthusiasts have a health balance breed, making them have more health, but not as much attack power. But Tunkins does hit harder. The whole OP thing about this pet is the whole frickin' jar of smelly liquid, and then really burp. You want to go with that because it just hits crazy hard and puts up a nice dot for a couple turns. Generally, you will run corrosion, as it will buff up the damage of your jar of smelly liquid even more when you use it, and then burp. But I have seen some people run punch, and it just works just as fine. Now, the whole OP thing about jar of smelly liquid is it's on a short ass 1 round cooldown, making you able to use it practically every turn, because it's pretty much going to be up all the time if you're faster. Deals quite a bit of damage for what it does. Reduces the target's speed by 50%, as well as their damage done by 50%, making him able to toe-to-toe against even some undeads. He can pretty much 1v3 pets sometimes, because he's that damn good, especially if he's faster. He's just a frickin' overpowered pet, I'd have to say. Definitely not the most broken in the game, but still pretty damn strong. A lot of people, including myself, do not like going against him, and therefore I don't really like using him because I don't like being that type of person. Yeah, I mean, not much more to say about it. If you want your own Wormy Tunkins, he is from Archaeology. I'd say he's still somewhat expensive at the auction house, thank God, because at least you have to go the extra mile just to get it. But if you don't want Tunkins, the Enthusiast, let me just go ahead and type in the Alliance one. It is 500 gold, but you have to be honor level 20, which, I mean, nowadays that's like a piece of cake. And you simply purchase it from the vendor in Darin. 500 gold, has more health than Tunkins, but not as much attack power, but literally does the same thing. You're probably going to run like Van Hammer here instead of Punch, but Punch is just as good. Overall, really damn good pet. On top of that, sweet 4% from the humanoid racial every time you deal damage. Now, moving more towards in the top 5, but just before we get to the top 5, we've got the Fell-Afflicted Skyfin, which is a hell of a lot better than the other 2 Skyfins, simply because of that raw 325 attack power on a power type. Speed doesn't really matter for it. It's really good, especially when it's faster, which is why it's got pretty great health. The general build you're going to want to go with is Fell Immolate Wild Magic, kind of like a Orphan Felbat, except it hits a lot harder, and Wild Magic lasts a lot longer. Wing Buffet is a swap out ability. It works differently from the gate. It hits, I think, if they were the same attack power, it actually would hit the same amount, but since it has more attack power, it does hit harder, obviously. The way it works is it brings in the lowest health pet on your opponent's team, so just keep in mind of that. So yeah, general build is going to be this. I have seen some Fel-afflicted Skyfins run Glowing Toxin, but Wild Magic generally is going to be better, I would say. This pet is dirt cheap on the auction house, maybe like 100 gold or less, I've seen. Or if you want to get it for yourself, it is from those Fel-spotted eggs in Argus, and I believe the best way to get them are from some cats or something like that. One of the world quests, whenever you have to go kill these cats in Argus, I want to say they have the better chance of dropping an egg, and then you wait like a day or something like that, and then you have a chance of getting to Fel-afflicted Skyfin. But really, you can't just get this off the auction house. I mean, I even have extras of this damn thing. It's that easy to get. Overall, really good pet, still good ever since back in Legion. Definitely recommend getting it if you're interested. Now, we're progressing into the top 5 here, I would say. Kicking off the top 5 off strong, we have the Vengeful Pocupette. Obviously, it's got to be on this list. This pet is just too damn good. I don't think it's really changed ever since back in Mist. Not very many people really know about this pet, especially back then, until Hiru made a top 10, I think, best pets in WoD, and it was actually the #1 for him, and it's still that damn good. Still one of the top pets in the game. And the reason being, first of all, it's got that sweet beast racial, making it hit a hell of a lot harder once it has its beast racial activated. Has a crap ton of health, so when its beast racial is activated, it still has quite a bit of health left over. General build you will want to go with is Powerball, Spirit Spikes, and Flank. Powerball works a lot differently from Dazzling Dance. Each time you use it, you deal decent damage as well as increase your speed by 20% each time you use it. But here's the kicker. That speed stays with you forever. Even if you swap out, you'll still have that speed, making him only able to do a couple of Powerballs before he's faster than pretty much anything in the game. Which is where Spirit Spikes comes in handy, because if you go first, you're technically getting 2 rounds out of it, opposed to 1. Spirit Spikes is just a great damage soaker, as well as dealing a crap ton of reflect damage back. And with your beast ratio, that's even more damage. Next thing it's got going for it is Flank, which is also where Powerball comes in handy, because if you're faster, you're going to be guaranteed that second hit of Flank, and have like a 50% chance for that third. Most of the time for me, I do only get double hits, but if Lady Luck shines upon you, you will get triple hits, like back to back to back sometimes. It's just really RNG right there. How do you get Vengeful Pocupette? He is on the Timeless Isle from Speaker Gunlon, and you have to get these bloody coins. I believe it's like 500 bloody coins for him. Essentially, what you have to do is kill other well, the opposing faction, basically, other players, and that's how you acquire bloody coins, and then you can buy them. If you don't want to do that, you can get him off the auction house, as he's not very expensive, I would say, for a damn good pet. Overall, Vengeful Pocupette definitely in the top 5 in PvP pet battles. Really, like I said, Powerball, Spirit Spikes, and Flank are your way to go. Definitely recommend getting this pet if you don't have them already. Next up, Emperor Crab. Now, what would this list be without this damn thing, am I right? Alright, so what do we got going for it right here? First of all, I believe it is the 3rd hardest hitting pet in the game. Actually, no, I think Servitor Demidos might have more attack power than it. Let me look real quick. Yeah, it does. I think it's like a 4th then. Like, I think Little Deathwing also has the same stats or whatever. So yeah, it's like the 4th hardest hitting pet in the game at 357, because damn is that a lot. Not only that, but healing is based off of attack power. So healing wave, sometimes you can see it go for over 600, which is a crap ton. But I have seen some run Renewing Mist, which is essentially just as good, as it will basically deal the same amount of healing. This is pretty much a versatile pet, and what I mean by that is you could pretty much run any build you want and do very, very well. Main build you'll probably see is Surge, Healing Wave, and Shell Shield, as you'll be able to reduce a lot of damage you take, pretty much taking no damage from most undead dots with Shell Shield up, except something like a Curse of Doom. Healing Wave, like I said, just heals for a crap ton, but you can run Renewing Mist if you want. And then Surge pretty much denies a lot of pets like a third hit from a multi-hit ability, like, for example, Vengeful Pocupette's Flank, or even a Flurry. And it just hits a crap ton. It is the hardest hitting Surge user in the game. You can run Snap if you want, as it hits like a truck, but Surge is just, I would say, infinitely better. And then you can run Whirlpool in some situations, but nowadays there are a lot of dodgy pets, so they'll see it coming and they'll pretty much just dodge it or whatever. So yeah, great health, awesome attack power, and speed literally does not matter simply because it has Surge. It's just such a tanky pet, and probably the best thing about it is it's quite easy to get. Well, somewhat, I would say, because I think it only has like maybe 1, 2, or maybe 3 spawn points out in the Dreaded Waste, so there's not very many. But yeah, you should have no issue of acquiring one if you go for it. Again, it is out in the Dreaded Waste, out in the water. There's probably mainly going to be like snails and stuff out there, but keep your eyes open for an Emperor Crab. The breed you want, like I said, is Power. HH is just not going to cut it. But I have seen it go against me and actually do quite well, simply because it's just that much more tanky than the Power. Once again, definitely recommend getting this pet if you want to do well with it in PvP. And yeah, now we move on to what I would say are the top 3 tier 1 pets in the game. Starting off with Fiendish Imp. No surprise here, as it has been one of the best pets in the game for the longest time now. General build you're going to want to go with is Burn, Immolation, and Nethergate. Immolation is just that damn good. Lasts for 9 rounds. Can take stuff like Decoy and Bubble Down. With your humanoid racial, it does count as you dealing damage. So if you get low health, you throw it up, switch to the backline, and heal up for pretty much all the way back to full. As it is quite a bit of healing with your 4% from your racial. You're going to want to go for Burn, obviously. I mean, why would you go for Seer Magic? It's just weird to have this right here in your basic attack right here. Yeah, Burn, obviously. Immolation, way better than Flamethrower. And then Nethergate, because I'm a faster pet. Nethergate is going to essentially deny your opponent 2 turns. If they, like, try to swap that pet back in, that is. It'll deny only 1 turn if they like just stay in or whatever. But something you can do is juke your opponent. Is like, for example, let's say that I'm going against another Fiendish Imp. I bring in my Fiendish Imp right here. He's going to go for another gate, and if I know that he's going to do that, or I predict he will, I'll bring in my Clucth-Sister, and it'll just bring back in my Fiendish Imp. That's essentially how you juke somebody. Overall, he's actually a pretty easy pet to get, as he is from Karazhan. He is from that little hidden boss behind this bookshelf, Terrastian Illhoof. I hope I pronounced that right, but probably not. I want to say he's got a pretty low drop chance, but I mean, he's like prolific on the auction house, so you should have no problem getting him. Best breed without a doubt is SS. The other 2 breeds, just not going to cut it, man. That speed is literally where it's at. So yeah, definitely one of the top pets in the game. Highly recommend getting it if you somehow don't have it already. Next up, Twilight Clucth-Sister. Really no big surprise that it's on the list. It's just a damn good pet. It was released back in the last raiding with leashes, back in Legion. At first, nobody thought it was that good. Everybody was looking at it like, meh, this pet kind of garbage. I mean, you got tail sweep on a pretty fast pet. Really, what good are you going to do? And then people leveled it up and then started using it in PvP, and they were like, damn, why did I think that in the beginning? This pet is absolutely overpowered. Now, the breed you're definitely going to want here is Power Speed, as it is the most efficient. having that extra speed as well as attack power. Pretty easy to get is from no, I'm not very good at pronouncing that, but it is from the Bastion of Twilight, the raid. Pretty easy to get if you can't get it to drop there. It is cageable and can be sold on the auction house. I don't think it's that expensive nowadays. Pretty cheap, I would have to say. What's so good about this damn thing? Twilight Fire, such a great ability. 1 round cooldown, does quite a bit of damage up front, and puts a dot up for basically 3 turns. A turn you use it, and the next following 2 turns, dealing quite a bit of damage. You're definitely going to want Phase Shift. I have seen some run Prismatic Barrier, which is kind of weird, because Phase Shift is a hell of a lot better. But, yeah, don't take Prismatic Barrier. I don't know why people even waste their time taking that. But Phase Shift is a hell of a lot better. It's not the fastest pet in the world, but pets that it is faster than, like for example Tunkins, it's going to do quite well against. Rarely will you ever see a Twilight Clucth-Sister player ever take damn Amplify Magic over Twilight Meteorite. It's just that damn good of an ability. It is pretty much the only heavy hitting split AoE ability that has not been changed ever since it was released. It's still dealing a crap ton of damage. Twilight Meteorite, although does have that long 5-round cooldown, it just still does an insane amount of damage, especially with your Dragon Racial. If you can get your Dragon Racial up and you're hitting only 1 pet, it's literally over 1,000 damage. But I think if all 3 pets are out, it'll deal, I think, like close to 300 damage, which is pretty damn insane. Yeah, this pet just pretty damn good. Not sure why it's not been nerfed, but yeah. And the thing that a lot of people are probably not going to be happy about is that one of the new pets coming in the next patch is pretty much a wild-caught version of Twilight Clucth-Sister. Can't show you it right here, but because it hasn't been released yet. But the name of the pet is Twilight Whelpling. Without a doubt, it's going to be tier 1 simply because it has Twilight Fire and Twilight Meteorite. And its metal slot's pretty great too. I think you have a choice between Wild Magic and Dark Flame, if I'm not mistaken. And it is a wild caught, also located in Twilight Highlands. So yeah, not on the list obviously because it's not released. Twilight Clucth-Sister, obviously. No P-Pet. Definitely recommend getting this pet if you for some reason haven't already. And yeah, now this is what I would consider the absolute best pet right now in PvP as far as tier 1 pets go. A lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on this, but hear me out. Hermit Crab. Oh my god. Absolutely can't get the words out, it's that good. Absolutely love this pet. Definitely my favorite pet. Let me tell you how good this damn thing is. Okay, so first of all, wild caught. Easy as hell to get. It's out in Vol'dun. There are a crap ton of them over on the coast. Has 1 breed. So you could literally, like I've said 100 times before, farm out that rare. You do not have to use a stone. Really, if you're going to use a stone, the only reason I could see you using a stone is if you want like a particular like coloration of this thing. I think it has like 3 or 4 colorations. I just picked up the first rare I got because I really don't care about the coloration. It's still a beautiful pet. There's like a blue color, maybe like an orange color, but really that's the only reason I could see you trying to like use a stone. Other than that, just farm out a rare. There's really no need to throw a freaking stone on this pet. It's got overinflated stats, which honestly, I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me, but I hope they don't change this. Because for one, if you change the Hermit Crab, I think you're going to have to change the Bog Hopper too, as they have the same stats. And honestly, it's really good. It has these stats, and I'll tell you why. Frickin' that speed. It's able to outspeed Fiendish Imp with its 333. It's able to outspeed Ore Eaters. It's able to outspeed, obviously, Flyers once they below their racial. It's able to 1v1 a lot of tier 1 pets. Maybe even some that people would consider tier 0, like Fiendish Imp, hands down will out damage it, as well as just right out 1v1 it. A very good example of it, as you guys have seen. Oh, I got those words mixed up. My nemesis, he loves to play frickin' Fiendish Imp, Knight Captain Murky, and a damn Frostwolf Ghostpup. He loves playing that damn team all the time. Frickin' Hermit Crab is the one pet that he cannot do a damn thing about, no matter what he does. He can frickin' try and outsmart me with me trying to juke him or whatever. There's just absolutely nothing he can do about this pet. It's that damn good. Moveset you're definitely going to want to run with is Fish Laugh. I have seen some people run Pinch, but the thing with Pinch is if you swap out, which you may be doing depending on your team, it's just going to reset. So Fish Laugh definitely the way to go, as it is the second hardest hitting Fish Laugh user in the game. Only second to the damn Colite Surfrunner, which only has 1 attack power more. Bubble or Shell Armor are good. Shell Armor is definitely the better choice, as this is what's going to help you 1v1 pets like Frostwolf Ghostpup, Fiendish Imp. I think even an Ore Eater you could probably take down with a Hermit Crab. It's just that damn good, especially on a very fast pet. 349 Shell Armor, you're basically going to get 3 turns out of it instead of 2. Bubble, I have seen some run it like I said, but it's just not that good. Immolation's going to be taking it out from a Fiendish Imp. You're essentially going to be going first on times out of 10, and if your opponent goes for attack, you're essentially only got 1 more turn to not take an attack from it. But you can swap out with a bubble on you, which I guess is a good thing. And it doesn't count as an object like Decoy does. Definitely recommend taking Dive over Whirlpool, as you will be able to dodge more abilities and get your Shell Armor back that much faster. Whirlpool is just not going to cut it. I mean, on a faster pet, pretty hard hitting pet as well, there's really no reason to not take Dive. Am I right? Yeah. I cannot stress how damn good this pet is and why I believe it's the damn frickin' best pet right now in PvP. They may change the stats, and if they do, I'll be kind of sad, and a lot of people will probably be happy. But yeah, we need this kind of pet really for dealing with Fiendish Imps. If not for this pet, I don't know how I'd be able to defeat my nemesis. It's just that damn good, and I'm sure a lot of you can agree with that. So now that we got all of that out of the way, let us move on to the frickin' what I would consider tier 0. Now, first up, oh, didn't spell it right. Black Fuse Bombling, and not Bane. Mainly why I would say it's tier 0 is paired with another pet that is tier 0, being God, what's his name? Murkalot. Frickin' Murkalot. How I wish I had this pet. But really, I don't see myself spending hundreds of dollars just to get this pet. It is just that damn good. Really, a lot of people will be like, oh man, why is this on the tier 1 list? Oh man, let me tell you, it is definitely better than a tier 1 pet. Maybe even better than Hermit Crab, I'm not sure. But frickin' absolutely tier 0. Main reason why, Righteous Inspiration. Literally the only pet that has this damn OP ability. Frickin' Righteous Inspiration, what it'll do is swap in your, I think it's your highest health pet, from what I've heard from people like Lunica, who do have this pet. He pairs it up with the Power Black Fuse Bombling, and the reason why I would consider the Black Fuse Bombling also tier 0 is when paired up with Murkalot. Armageddon just frickin' does over 700 damage, I think, with Righteous Inspiration up. Not to mention he's a power type, so Blessed Hammer is a pretty great triple hitting ability, as it'll hit 3 times, but do overall, I think, like over 300 damage without a crit. And then really, Falling Murloc is the way to go, as it'll do a hell of a lot damage, as well as it will stun you though, so just keep that in mind if you're one of the few people that actually have this damn thing. Murk a lot, just plainly tier 0. I would also put Black Fuse Bombling in that category too. Now, Black Fuse Bombling. Pretty expensive pet still nowadays, but if you're lucky, you can get it to drop from Siege Crafter Black Fuse and Siege of Orgrimmar. Overall, those two paired together, can't get the words out. Those two pets together, just absolutely destruction right there. And another pet that I figured I'd mention would be, of course, Knight Captain Murky, as well as Legionnaire Murky. As really the reason why they're so good is because of Shield Storm. It's just a damn good ability that I wish Refuge would work like. Basically, there's a shield on all of your pets, regardless of what type they are. That shield will literally stay there forever until it is removed. This pet just hits crazy hard with 40 Alliance, into a Whirlwind, into another 40 Alliance, into a Shield Storm, into probably another 40 Alliance if it's faster. Hinting why my nemesis is kind of a scum, because he runs 3 damn good pets with, 2 damn good pets with Knight Captain Murky. But frickin', yeah, I hate this pet simply because of that guy. Pretty damn good pet, I'd have to say. So yeah, that about does it. These are the top 15 pets I would say are the best tier 1 pets for PvP pet battles. Please let me know what you guys think. I know a bunch of you may disagree, or maybe there was a pet that you think should have been on the list but wasn't. Yeah, just please let me know. I'd be happy to hear about it in the comments below. Yeah, this is pretty much it right here. These are the top dogs right here if you want to do really good in PvP pet battles. I think that'll wrap it up for this one. Really hope you guys enjoyed. A bit of a notice, probably not going to get any videos out tomorrow, as I will be going over to like my girlfriend's house, but yeah, just a bit of a heads up. I should be able to get back in some videos on, I think, Monday, but obviously you guys know whenever I upload my next video. So yeah, that'll do it for this one. Really hope you guys enjoyed. This is Kovac, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.